This is wild. I don't think I ever shared this with you. I mean, I share a lot of wild stuff with you, but there was somebody I was with who I was getting a lot of mixed messages from him, but also from the unseen, and I was getting confused. And long story short, it was a blip in time. I think at one point I really thought it was going to be my person. And but then so many weird things were happening, and this was one of the weird things. After some time together one day, and they left, I really lost it. I was just so much was like coming through about just wrong. Like I wronged myself. And I looked in the mirror and I started crying, really upset about it, and apologizing to myself for making the wrong move. It was like, I forget all of it now, but I think it was like I had come to realize it was like out of fear or out of like one of the visions, or it doesn't matter. But what ended up happening though was weird, where in that deep realization and apologizing to myself in the mirror, and it was so heartfelt, and I was like so like gut wrenched and just devastated that I had done that to myself after so much cleansing work and healing and growth. To have reverted back was just devastating. It almost felt like all that for nothing. One slip up and it felt like the whole bathtub was drained. And I can't express enough how much that devastated me. That I did that to me after all that I couldn't be present enough to make a decision that was truly best for me because I got anxious and worried and there was too many conflicting thoughts going on. And in that moment of looking in the mirror and doing that work, I saw an energy, a very dark energy, lift up and off of me. And it formed into like a figure of a man. And this mirror I had is at the top of the steps, so it had gone and backed away from me and went to the top of the steps and ended up exiting, and out at the bottom of the steps is the door, and it left the house. And it was wild. And I was very confused by it for a long time too, because I was like, was that good or bad, right? Like, did something good leave me, being disappointed in me and felt like it needed to leave me? Or was it an entity that was attached to me that realized it was no longer benefiting me, and that I realized I didn't want that anymore? And this all came up because I was listening to a story this morning, and somebody had said something about somebody had an entity attached to them, and that it was like given to them. It was like shrapnel, where she went on to say it's like sometimes, and we've talked about this in depth, but she was saying something very similar about how when you are going through karma or you're dealing with that and you're engaging with others, it's like what did she say? Shrapnel, I think was the word she used, or something like this, where it's like you get hit by the stuff that's flying by, and you got to be careful. So we've talked about that in ways where it's like you don't want to interfere with universal law, and yet we don't always necessarily get to know that, right? Like you could bump into somebody new and you think all things are well and things are going good. You don't know them from a can of paint. You don't realize they're going through karmic debt. But this is why you have to really love yourself and be more in tune and aligned, and not hopeful wishful thinking or ignoring the red flags or any of these things, because if you're doing your work, you technically shouldn't be a vibrational match. So you might have come into their life to help them, to heal them, to uplift them, but that doesn't mean you stay, right? So it's like, this is why you have to be present with you and really healing and working on you, because it's not like people are carrying signs being like, I'm going through karma, stay the fuck away, And so when she was saying this story this morning and I was listening to it, it really reminded me of that, where this person, I think, was going through a lot of karma, whether they recognize it or not. A lot of people don't always necessarily recognize it. They just think they're having a bad time or they're having a bad, and all of that's fine, right? Like, it's just a different understanding. It's just different terminology. It's just different beliefs. All of it's fine. We all say the same thing, but we are saying it through our perspective, our understanding, our teachings, our learnings, whatever. And so, I got hit by the shrapnel, and I did get infected, and I can look at it like a blessing in that had I not been continually doing the work and remorseful that I didn't honor myself and then do that cleanup work, that entity could still be attached to me all this time later. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like we can spin it any which way, and our mind does, but we really have to get to the truth of it too, right? Like, the truth is, I wasn't fully aligned, and I allowed that in. I wasn't strong enough. And there's times where we're not strong enough. I knew I wasn't strong enough. I knew not to engage at that time. I knew not to. I even had like a hit, this is why I had like all these mixed messages, and I was too anxious. But that in itself was a signal. That in itself was, now is not the time. You're not aligned to even engage, right? And I knew that. And I tried to do both. I tried to have one foot in and one foot out, in that I didn't invite this person over, but I didn't say no either. So I wanted to have like a neutral space, but I knew I wasn't strong enough. And even in the neutral space, I got bamboozled. Now, we can look at him as a predator or a bad person because he took advantage and knew this. Yes. Yet, I did too, right? There is no victim here, right? And he was in a bad space, so he wasn't aligned either, right? So nobody was their best self. This is why it's like there's nobody to blame. There's nobody, it's like, I have to take my own accountability and heal myself and recognize when I'm not healed, right? The damage that can be done further to myself, let alone others. So, they show me things in such ways that sometimes it does. So there are things like that it didn't freak me out as much as it because sometimes I don't know that I'm understanding it all. And you've heard me, I'll translate it and understand it and think I understand. I really think I understand it clearly, and I'll share it with you, only to later on down the road be like, oh my God, I totally mistranslated that. I misunderstood the messages universe was trying to give me. And we have to, it's exhausting for me at times because so much is always coming at me and they're always showing me so much. And yet for me, it's so important I slow down. This is why it's really important I get back on the medicine to help that, because it's challenging for me. But it's also that when I can slow down, I can remember truth. Truth is unconditional love is the highest vibration of all and doesn't have conditions on us. So it's not judging us like we judge us. And if we're aligned and coming from our heart space, all is bliss. So if I have any confusion, if I have any worry, if I have any fret, if I have any anxiety, that is lower energies. That is not from unconditional love. And that's why for me it is crucial that I slow down and make decisions from alignment. Now, I think it's important for everybody. Yet I know for me, it's like I know these are hard facts for me. This has proven, unconditional love has proven himself to me 1 billion times over. When I am aligned and coming from unconditional love and having that flood me and operate me, life is fucking bliss. When I allow for less than that, it's okay. I'm learning. It's growing. It's where we grow the most is from our darkness. Yet, it is seemingly a billion times more painful for me than other people I know. I don't know why. I guess that's that perfectionism or that nonsense rhetoric or the harsher critic internally, the devil within. But it's like that, those two simple facts. When it's from unconditional love, it's peace and ease and bliss. If it's anything short of that, don't fucking move. Even if it's hard for you, even if you're burning out with your brake or your foot on the brake and the gas. It's your cue, it's your indicator to fucking breathe through it and get back to the present moment. And the longer you resist that, the more you eat the sugar, the more you ignore this, the more you ignore that. It's like the longer you're keeping yourself in pain and telling the universe that you like that pain. So it's like it's up to you to figure out the ways to slow down, to love yourself. That's loving to me, to get back to the present moment. That's where I feel best. That's where I feel peace and ease and calm and bliss. Anything short of that is really painful for me. So it's like I have to figure out how to get back. And like I had mentioned in this earlier, like for me, one of the ways is recognizing and realizing that, you know, that label ADD does seem to apply for me, and that it's like, don't look at the label as bad. I do that sometimes to myself. And that don't look at the medicine as bad. Look at it as an aid that is beneficial for you. You've chosen to have that benefit because you have seen a positive effect. When you take that, it helps you slow. So it's like I really have to get clear on that, and I really have to rewire my brain to accept that, because there is, even now saying this, even knowing that, even intellectualizing that, integrating it emotionally is another story, and it's a longer process for me, and I have to figure that out too. What is the snag? What is the problem? What rewiring needs to be done? And it's like I have to put in the time and the effort to do that rewiring work, because that's one more thing I keep tossing on the pile of the back burner, and it's not getting attended to, and it's affecting my day-to-day life. Right? So it's like, you have to make time for that then. You have to make time to do that meditation for you, telling truth, so that you can have that new truth, that new belief system as the new dominant. So it's no longer this tug of war, this snag that you're taking medicine, but you're not sure it's best for you because of what? What is the lie? What is the hinge? You're not weak for taking something that you choose to take because you know that it aids you in a beneficial way. We all have to do things that help us. I mean, I know exercise helps me. It would be like saying it's bad for me to do yoga because I should be able to do everything without doing any yoga. That's just silly, right? Like, it's a silly hiccup that I've had that doesn't make logical sense when I think it through. But for some reason, somewhere along the line, it was like I told myself I had no choice but to be Superwoman. And if I fell short of that, well, I failed. This is the nonsense we tell ourselves. It's nonsense. It's lies. It's wrong hinges. It's misinformation. There's a plethora of stuff out there that can aid us. You know, say there's 100 things. No, the 100 things are not going to aid me beneficially. But I can pick 15 of them that are fabulous for me. Those same 15 might be the very 15 things that are harmful for you. So it's like there's no comparison. There's no worry, there's no judging, there's no none of that. It's like, go out there and figure out what aids you need to feel and be the best you based on your perception of what the best you feels and looks like, right? It's like we want to be able to design our lives to feel how we want to feel and live them the way we want to live them, and we have to stop judging ourselves, because that's what we're doing. We're so harsh on ourselves, and we think it's everybody else around us, or it's nobody else gives a fuck. Everybody else is so in their own fret and worry, right? It's like we have old rhetoric, old wiring, old bullshit in our head, which, you know, for me, it's like that's the stuff I, as you're aware, work on dropping and integrating new information the correct information that aligns with my new truth, my new belief, my new desire. I desire to feel good and at peace and calm and happy and stable and supported and forward focusing while remaining in the present as well, right? Like it's all these things that I feel like this is, that's the whole point of living, right? Is that we're always doing all these things. And ironically, it's like it feels like at times I have to work so hard to just fucking relax and have fun. It's like I have to work so hard to not be so serious. Really, doesn't that sound insane? But that's what it feels like oftentimes. It's like I feel my best when I am fully relaxed and laughing and having fun. And when I'm doing that, I am flying high and things are fabulous. This is why I think I like Esther Hicks, because she reaches that level of understanding 99.9% of the time I listen to her. That's what she's talking about, and that's what she's saying, and that's where she's flying. And I have found that that resonates with me, that is what I have found to be true as well, that truly when we can relax and let go and not take life so seriously and realize we are a piece of sand, what is so fucking serious, right? All of a sudden, miracles start to happen, right? And it's like staying in that flow, staying in that rhythm, staying in that relaxed fun and allowance. And they're showing that 22 again. That's interesting. So if you've listened to the last few, you'll know what I mean. And so that is interesting they're showing it like this, because I was just about to say before they showed that and interrupted me, I was there. I have been there so many times in my life. And I think I forget, like I often think it was the majority of my life, but maybe it wasn't. It's like when you're in that space, it feels so good. It does feel like it was a long period of my life, but it probably wasn't. It was probably just like a blip here or there that I had reached that. And then I guess maybe old familiar patterns came back in. And yet they're bad patterns, backwards patterns, things that would take me in a downward spiral, right? And so why are you showing me the 22? It's like I finally had reached the flying high, but the time there was actually a blip, but it was such a beautiful, blissful blip that I've magnified it, because in that time frame, in that space where things were going well and I was relaxed and felt good and healthy and stable and whatever, it did feel just like magic and always, and I was able to see everything from a higher vantage point. So my whole life did feel like beautiful, because I could see everything for as it was and from a higher vantage point. So there was no regret or upset or worry or fret. There was nothing. There's none of that. When you're up there, the world is bliss and there is no wrong. And and so what? So what are you telling me? And so what? That it's like I happened to reach that right before I crashed into the bad zone or something. Like, I don't know what you're showing me, though. I don't know what you're. Maybe it's just this mentality or mindset or idea of them maybe recognizing it's not always 22 years, but that just happens to what they're showing me, and they know that number will help me remember that philosophy. That time frame or spell or downspill or downward spiral kind of thing is temporary, and that it also is what it is. And you know what? That's funny they brought up Esther earlier. She says something like that, something about if you're flying out of an airplane and you say, Esther, what do I do? She says, I'll tell you to hang on tight, it'll be over soon. In other words, there's nothing you can do. If the momentum is downward spiral and it is like a bird that's flying high and just swirling upwards and soaring and has its eyes closed. It's so excited. It's shooting straight up in the sky. And if an airplane comes and runs into it, you're knocked over. You've lost momentum, and now you're crashing and burning. You're going down. There's nothing you can do about it. You are going down. So Don't even hang on tight. She says hang on tight, but don't hang on tight. Just let go. As a matter of fact, don't hang tight, because if you tense up and hang tight, she doesn't mean tense up, but I took it as that as I'm verbalizing it now. If you did tense up, you're likely to smash every bone when you land. You just want to relax and enjoy the ride down, because you are going down. You can't stop that force or momentum. If you were up in a hot air balloon and they popped it, you're going down. And it's going to start to fly down sooner or later. And our natural instincts at times is to tense up or to freeze. Try your best to relax. Try your best. You are going to hit the ground. You are. There's no stopping it. But try your best to relax your body so that you don't break every single bone. Okay. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. You can now purchase an audio journey with me using the link below.